to the extreme. Lottie had a wild streak longer than the Mississippi River and twice as wide. Chance indulged his twin at every turn. "Nate." He glanced up and met his brother's solemn jade eyes. No words needed to be spoken. They both knew what they faced when they returned to England. "The strongest of the six, huh?" he asked with a half-grin. "This should be interesting. Father said Isis intends to pull from the other world. This ceremony promises to be a treat." Drew's sarcasm regarding the upcoming attempt to defeat the Enchantress wasn't lost on Nate. With a resigned sigh, he clapped his brother on the back. "I'll be back soon." Closing his eyes, he mentally pinpointed their location and calculated the distance to the closest town, Baton Rouge. The city was always on his radar. They usually stayed at a small, clean boarding house not far from the port. At this time of night, only the drunks would be awake, and not many of them. Most likely they'd be in an alley somewhere, sleeping off the night's excess. Nate's cells warmed as he visualized the narrow access road behind the boarding house. Within seconds, he was at his destination and scanning the area for any witnesses to his teleport. Finding none, he strode up to the building's kitchen door and tried the handle. With a quick look behind him, he murmured, "Recludo." The metal bar securing the door from the other side released and allowed him entry. Nate replaced it and silently made his way to the second floor, stopping at the first bedroom on the right. This time, he didn't speak as he disengaged the lock. He stood at the foot of the four-poster bed and stared at the woman lost to her slumber. The clouds outside the window parted, with a little help from Nate, and moonlight shone down on her pale classical features. His heart turned over in his chest. For years they'd been dancing around their feelings, with Nate too much of a coward to tell Evelyn he loved her. Now he might never get the chance. For sure, informing her just before running off to confront the deadliest witch in history was bad form. Nate sat on the edge of the bed. "Evie." She smiled in her sleep. "Evie, I need you to wake up." He trailed light fingers along her temple, stroking her silver blonde hair. "Wake up now, love." Her lids lifted and her stunning amber eyes focused on him. "Nathaniel, what are you doing in my room?" "I have a favor to ask, and I hope you won't refuse me." Heat flared in her cheeks, and she lowered her gaze to the coverlet she gripped. "I'll not lay with you, Nathaniel. I've told you that." "I've no doubt I'll wear you down one day, love, but it's a different favor I'm after." Concern clouded her face as she turned more fully toward him. "What's wrong?" "Drew and I need to return to England. Will you keep an eye out for the twins while we're gone?" "Of course." A handful of heartbeats passed as they stared at one another, each unable to break the spell surrounding them. How long will you be gone?" He couldn't lie, couldn't flirt and tease his way through a bullshit answer. Not with Evie, not right then. His tone was solemn as he said, "I don't know, love. With any luck, a few days at most. Maybe never," the little voice inside said, but he didn't want to scare her. He didn't want to turn what might be their last moments together into a sober, sad affair. Nate forced a grin. "The thorns will be out of your beautiful hair soon enough, Evie, my love. Never fear." He started to stand, but she grabbed his hand. "Nathaniel, you'll be careful, won't you? Despite whatever harebrained scheme you've got going, you'll come back?" The desire to weep was strong. He stared at her so long she became uncomfortable and squirmed under his steady regard. "Nathaniel." Her voice was a mere whisper, caressing the exposed skin at his throat. He very nearly swore when he realized he wasn't properly dressed. No wonder she acted like a shy maiden. What was she supposed to do when she woke up to find a man with his shirt half undone lurking over her? "I'll come back, Evie." She closed her eyes and nodded, her lips in a tight, thin line. "I'll always come back to you, love. Always." Her eyes flew open and locked on his tortured features. Tears shimmered, and one escaped down her cheek. "You'd better, Nathaniel Alistair Thorne." This time his wide grin wasn't forced. It had only taken her fierce order to make his soul sing. He threw caution to the winds. "I believe it's well past time I told you I love you, Evie. Don't you think?" She nodded. "Don't promise your heart to another while I'm gone." "Then you best hurry home to me," she retorted, sassy as ever. He pulled her to her feet and tucked a lock of hair